about that. We got to talk. We got to get wrap this up a little bit. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Was lunch good?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. So one of the things when we first found out about the leadership panel from this morning, my mind quickly went to, well, what am I going to say? And so not really knowing what direction we were going to go with the panel, I just put myself in, and I know we have a variety of years of experience as it relates to education, but I think for the time that we're in, I believe for the time that we're in now, one thing that immediately resonated with me that I wanted to leave with all of our new team members is just this common mission that we have. And that, it's every day, as you know, Monday, and every time that you've probably heard me talk, I'm talking about something in regards to, just the power we have as educators to just transform, really making that difference every single day. And so we know that the main ingredient and where it all takes place is in the classroom. We know that. We know that it's not the principal's office, it's not the superintendent's office, it's not, this and that, attendance office, all of that. It is in the classroom. And for every classroom teacher, having all of us, generally, I think everyone here in some capacity has had some instructional responsibilities. One thing that I can't stress enough is just from the variety of experiences I've had in working primarily in schools that perhaps no one wanted to be at, or perhaps, it's kind of a, that limited parental environment at home, or that reinforcement, that support, the social and emotional piece. One thing that led me is just the word rich. And so when we're talking about providing those daily encounters to learn and those experiences, we want to make that rich. We want it to be a rich experience. And we all have in our mind what the word rich entails. And it's, I know, we immediately think, that socioeconomic piece, of that money piece, of the wealth. I'm talking about rich as it's thorough. It's thorough. It's like a sponge, because our young people's minds are like sponges. They're soaking everything up. So why not provide them with that daily opportunity to come in and have, at their fingertips, exposure to something that is rich, so that they're able to reflect when they get to 12th grade and they're saying that all of the teachers that I had collectively have led me on this journey, and I feel that I'm well equipped now to go forward, whether it be on the traditional path to a four-year university or college, or whether it be to a vocational training program of that sort, or just, a startup business on its own, but knowing nevertheless that I have acquired the knowledge and the skill set and the tools that are necessary for me to be a contributing member of society. And so I wanted to utilize the word rich, we'll go to the next slide, to further encompass 4 elements that we can really begin to look through as we're providing that instructional delivery and planning that go behind the scenes, even if it's in a counseling role, how to, align what is happening in the classroom to what a scholar or what a student is going to be able to experience on a daily basis. And so that's one thought when it comes to teaching and learning, is making it rich. And so beginning with that first R, I would like to utilize that to be relevant. That each and every day, what we're teaching, what we're driving home, the message from our objective, coming from our standard, all of that, when we're planning and going forward with a lesson, we want it to be relevant. Because if we're not able to see any relevant attributes to what is to be learned, how am I going to engage? And so we're wanting to know that we're going to begin building the relationships day one, as soon as we're laying eyes on students in whichever way that may look like, whether it's on a screen or whether it's face-to-face. But nevertheless, driving home that message. With those relationships, we can begin to start planning instruction that is going to be responsive to our population of our students. So I like to select R to stand for relevant. The next letter, I, inclusive. This afternoon we were here for our special education department, and in my mind, when we think of inclusion, a lot of things come to mind. It's not just the concept of race. It's not just the concept of socioeconomic diversity. It's not just the concept of, diverse learning needs or performance levels, but inclusiveness. A place that's safe, a place that everyone is able to come in and be themselves. Because it's been stated several times, when we go to Walmart, there's not a special ed ED Walmart. There's not a low socioeconomic Walmart. There's not a gated community, affluent neighborhood Walmart. That is one piece that I know daily that we are, even in our society right now. COVID-19 has really brought everyone we're all on this playing field. It's not a upper or lower type thing. We're all affected in some way. And so providing that daily piece that I have a safe place to come to school or to be educated, whether it be on the computer, whether it be, with limited contact and exposure, adhering to our guidelines that will be given, continuously by the CDC, still providing a way for us, for the student to feel like they're included in this process, in this learning process, that this is prepared, designed specifically for them to thrive, and that they can be themselves, and that they can perform at a level of excellence that is significant to the individual. C, challenge. Well, we all know that a classroom of learners, there's going to be great diversity among the grouping, among the planning for instruction to meet our students where they are and to bring them up and to progress. And so, yes, we want to be able to challenge them, and we want to make sure where we can't provide a challenge, really, if we don't know them. How can we, know what is going to really motivate and move them? What are some of those, factors that our students really love? As we begin to have those relationships, we begin to put our students in our mind. And so, having a classroom of, 20 or 30 or however many it may be, how to be able to plan that instruction that's going to challenge them to go beyond just a surface level. We've talked about depth of knowledge, I'm sure you've heard of that, or questioning techniques and things of that nature, but we're wanting to make sure that daily classrooms are, filled with that, energy, and that, it's causing a challenge, because that's going to promote you to have to necessarily work together collaboratively. One thing I'd like to talk about, and with that we can go to the next one. You'll see a picture right here. This is, as those that went on the 2 on Monday, project-based learning. That's not a program, that's an instructional technique, and a strategy rather, where scholars are working for an extended period of time, solving perhaps, responding to an authentic question perhaps, a situation, scenario, a problem, if you will. For scholars of diverse reading levels, they did a reader's theater and created their whole classroom to represent the Underground Railroad. That's what their, the one specific section of 5th grade at Cherokee, they were the Underground Railroad. And for our living museum, which was school-wide, you saw a snapshot of 3rd grade. This was 5th grade. Through the relationships built throughout the community, we had several of our pastors and leaders, which meet monthly at the school site, donating costumes, things out of even their own closet. This was all before COVID-19, so that'll be looking different if we move forward. But nevertheless, as you can see, just that whole sense of we have transformed our learning environment and went back into history, and you see all various ethnicities coming together in a rich, authentic learning experience that this was the summative of that time of them building this and learning their parts and things of that nature. But if you were able to see the actual verbal delivery of scholars being able to have their parts read, and they've even added certain parts to it, all of that together has tied in and provided us with that opportunity to really just dive deep and provide an authentic learning outcome. And then finally, H for hope. We know that many of our students that come to us, they come to us daily. They may come from a home with two parents. They may come a home with no parents. They may come from, being raised by a grandparent or aunt, uncle, cousin, sometimes even sibling. I've even, seen just someone has picked a child up just because there was no one there. And so knowing that they come to us every day with all different types of issues, all different types of challenges and obstacles, we want to provide that center, that classroom, that experience that is one to give hope. Hope for a brighter day. Hope for the best being yet to come, as I say all the time, because in the time in which we live, this is likely the only time they're going to see someone that's able to love on them, able to pour on them. Our school leaders agree. Many times we're doing things beyond the hours of the day simply because we want to make sure that when that child walks in, they have everything they need. That goes working with our counselors. We're providing, clothing as it may be. I even know one of my fellow colleagues that has taken students in, and have housed and provided for them, for extended periods of time. We're all doing things, to just make sure that is a sense of hope, giving our young people a sense of hope, because that's what it's going to take. Because then that's going to retain them in the city of Muskogee. That's what they're going to go and get their education beyond that post-secondary education, and then come back in and build, and then let's expand and let's continue a transitional excellence, and let that transcend from generation to generation. That's what it's going to take, because if we are providing that sense of hope, they know that a brighter day lies ahead. And they know that it does not end in 12th grade, and I don't just, kind of fall off, and wherever I end up is where I end up. But no, I know who I am. My teachers have poured into me. They believe in me, and this is, that belief that I have been able, through that growth mindset, been able to say that, yes, I can overcome this, I can move forward with this, I can be successful, and I am somebody. So that was just, I think that is there anything else? Yeah, and so that just pretty well sums up what I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I didn't know when we were first asked, colleagues and I, we were just given like, we want you to be on the panel, and we're like, okay, so, and I just wanted to be able to give you something, and that's the thing. We're all in this together. We are a district-wide team. We're small enough, however, we're large enough to make a large impact, but we're small enough still to have the relationships that building to building, that everybody is in this together. We face our challenges, but we move forward with excellence. So that's all that I wanted to share, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mr.